Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We are on the air 7 nights a week, same time, same channel, KDKA+, and on most nights, it's 93.7 The Fan. Bob Pompeani here, manning the controls, and up at 93.7 The Fan, it's Andrew Fillipponi from the PM team. The big news today was the word of Gabe Davis being flown in for a second interview or a second look at, whatever the case may be. He was here earlier, did not get a deal, left. I thought that may have been the end of story. Couple that with the fact that Roman Wilson had a pretty good game again this past week, made me think that they weren't going to do anything with that second wide receiver position. But apparently they're going to add to the group. And your thoughts about Gabe Davis, who to me was a one-trick pony in that he had a really good game against Kansas City in that playoff game, pony with 4 touchdown receptions. But other than that, there hasn't been all that much. And when he went to Jacksonville, it didn't seem to work very well.
Well, don't forget about the game in 2022.
He's shown that ability. He can break big plays, but we haven't seen it all that consistently. So it's interesting, and I wonder if he will get a deal. I would imagine they're bringing him to sign him, right?
You'd think so. Now, I heard when he came here previously, you could still tell that the torn meniscus from last year was hampering him and bothering him. So maybe he said to them at that time, look, give me a few more months. I'll get in better shape. I'll recover and rehab this more, and maybe later in the summer we can find middle ground in a deal. So could be that he's coming back to kind of test out that injury, and the Steelers see how much progress he's made since the last time they saw him. But I still think they need another wide receiver. I think they've reshaped their team so much this offseason to just leave that hole there going into the season, Bob, given everything they've done from the Metcalf signing to Rodgers signing and the trades, George Pickens, Jalen Ramsey. To not have anybody better than Calvin Austin at that spot, I think, would be a mistake by this team. So they're doing their due diligence. They're doing their homework. They're looking around, and I expect that they'll bring somebody in here, but Gabe Davis really does not move the needle much for me at this point in his career.
I mean, maybe as a 3 or somebody else who can contribute to the group, but if you're looking to be opposite of Metcalf, I still think Austin will probably be that guy, depending on his injury, and he looked like he was more active today. Our KDK.com Connect poll is up, and it simply says, will the Steelers sign Gabe Davis? And so far, 80-20 say yes. We'll talk more about that. We also have the Pirates, who got a win tonight. We'll get into that as well. Call us at 412-575-2600. Hit us up on Twitter. It's at KDPomp, at The Pony Express. We'll take those calls next. We'll go to break right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're live on KDKA+. All right, welcome back. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night. It comes from none other than Andrew Fillipponi. It's a good one, too. Paul Skeens has gotten a no decision in 10 starts this year, and in those 10, how about a 1.89 ERA? And really, he should be closing in on 15 to 20, 17 win season, whatever the case may be. He just got no run support, and he was good again tonight. 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Did not get the decision. They came back and won. And Andrew, Toronto did not look very good. They pride themselves on being a good fielding team, and they looked awful tonight. 3 errors, a wild pitch. Fundamentally not very good, and Pirates took advantage of that to the tune of a 5-2 win.
They did, and I just wonder how much they are celebrating at Pirates headquarters tonight, because a couple of things happened in the last 24 hours. Number one, you've got the Connor Griffin call-up, and I believe he is now the youngest Altoona curve player of all time. As still a teenager. That's the first one. And then I believe I saw this, and I was like, wait a minute, are you kidding me? Baseball America named the Pirates the #2 farm system in all of Major League Baseball. So
that must be fueled with lower level guys. It cannot be what
I don't know,
see.
Bob.
Well,
I agree. But if Ben Cherington is going to save his job, those are the 2 things I would slap on the desk of Bob Nutting. I've got the best prospect in all of baseball here that I drafted, and look at our complete farm system. It's now one of the best in all of baseball. So that's going to be, if he's going to save his job, Bob, it's not going to be the wins and losses over the next 2 months. It's going to be the continued development of young players.
But we really
Connor
haven't
Griffin
seen the development. We've seen them get to a point and then stall out and not come to this level.
I agree.
It should be based on what's happened at the major league level. We have not seen that.
I agree, but don't you feel like Connor Griffin is a huge feather in his cap?
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's
I
almost.
thought Henry Davis was supposed to be a huge feather in his cap too. And,
yeah, but Henry Davis was never the #1 prospect in all of baseball, even after being the #1 pick. And he's a horrendous pick. He had a nice game tonight, but overall, he's a terrible hitter. But Connor Griffin has a chance to be an all-star type player, maybe even more than that. And they didn't get him with the #1 overall pick. That was a great draft pick by this regime. And I wonder if that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's going to be enough for Ben Cherington to save his job.
I just hope he's on a fast track and he gets up here sometime next year. I'd like to see it. Let's go to the phone lines. We have a lot of calls tonight, Andrew, beginning with our #1 Cochrane Go One Better caller of the night. That's Joe in Allison Park. Hello, Joe.
Hi. I have 2 points. One, I think Gabe Davis should be #2 receiver because you know why? Like, Roman Wilson can move into the slot, be a Wes Welker guy, a punt return. And plus, when Austin gets back, Austin could be the fourth stringer to like handle punts and kickoffs like alongside Wilson. And also, my second point is I love 8 strikeouts from Skanes, but 96 pitches, that's a little alarming, isn't it?
It's been the trend all year with him, though. He is, every time he's out there, his pitch count is rather high, which is surprising considering that, he gets a number of strikeouts. But I don't know what the explanation for that is, but I would, every game is different, but in this case, it seems like when he gets 5 or 6 innings, he has reached his pitch count pretty much already in that regard. Still doesn't take away from what he's done. It's just that you would expect a more efficient pitch count based on his numbers.
And Gabe Davis better not be the Steelers' #2 wide receiver.
No, he'll be #4.
Okay. He's coming off an injury. He's been out there the entire time. He just got cut by Jacksonville. All right, so if he's here, he's a depth piece. But they have depth pieces. They're loaded with depth pieces. That wide receiver room outside of DK Metcalf is about depth guys. And guys you like as 3 and 4s, but guys you don't like as a #2. And that's an issue. I mean, we'll see if they use the tight end so much, Bob, that it becomes less of a factor. But, last year we heard the same things. How Pat Freiermuth was really going to be their #2 wide receiver. And then, when George Pickens got injured, they weren't able to move the ball in the air whatsoever. So I think they need to try like heck over the next 2 weeks to find a legitimate #2 wide receiver to pair with DK Metcalf.
Interesting tweet today from Ben DiNucci. I don't know if you saw this one. I thought it was funny. He said, "Football news, I signed with the Falcons. Source myself, and it is credible." DiNucci still playing out there, which is good. Gets an opportunity with the Falcons. Back to the lines we go. And that would be Jim in Greentree, who joins us right now on line #4. Hello, Jim.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Good. What's up?
Hey, Bob, Bob and Chris, do you think the Steelers should let Aaron Rodgers play the last preseason game to get some practice?
No.
Because he's playing with a different offense. And also, Bob, Milwaukee won today 7-0, so they won 1 in a row.
There we go. But they're still the best team in baseball. No, they're not going to play any of these guys on Thursday. I wouldn't do it anyway. I would have done it or Saturday. That's when I would have done it, just for a series or 2. I don't think there's any harm in that. I know some people freak out over the injury potential, but that can happen in practice. We've seen that. And I know in this game, we saw that Christian Kuntz got injured to the point where maybe a broken or bruised sternum. I'm not sure to what extent, because we get conflicting things on that. Mike Tomlin called it more of a shorter-term injury, but typically that's a longer-term injury. So that happens. We saw McMillan for Tampa Bay land on his head. I mean, it's dangerous. No matter when you do, practice or not, it's dangerous. So, but I wouldn't play those guys Thursday at all.
Well, here's the thing about what you just said. There's so much time in between the last preseason game and the first regular season game that I'd like to see. It's not about, for me, adjusting to the speed of the game so much as it is the offense as a unit getting used to and comfortable working with each other. And they neglected that and decided not to do that this entire preseason. Cincinnati has gone the opposite route, and Joe Burrow was magnificent again tonight, although his defense was not very good. But I would have liked to have seen Aaron Rodgers out there with the first team, and just because Carolina's playing scrubs on Thursday doesn't mean that at least for a series, Mike Tomlin can't do that, but he won't. He's not going to do it. But I think he should. He gave Russell Wilson that shot last year in the preseason. I think it helped Justin Fields at the beginning of the year that he played so much in the preseason last year.
Right. But I would have done it on Saturday, not necessarily in this game. It's just 4 days later, whatever. I thought that was a good time to do it at home, better confines. And you're right, there's communication issues. How about the guys in the defensive secondary? They're all new, they're all big-name guys, but they haven't played together. And last year, the whole name of the game was miscommunication and problems with communication. What if that happens at the beginning of the year because they just haven't been in there enough?
You're right. I agree with that, Bob. I just feel like it was a lost opportunity all the way around. The preseason, number one, you want to get out of it injury-free. But I do think you can afford some risk if you have a lot of turnover on a team, or if you have a new offensive coordinator, or if you have a new quarterback. And the Steelers have many of those ingredients. So I would have used this preseason, in addition to getting young guys up to speed, rookies, guys trying to make the team, I would have tried to give these first-team reps a little bit of time together so they could shake the rust off before they go out there against the Jets next month.
Back to the lines we go. We have Luke in Latrobe joining us right now on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Go ahead, Luke.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Tony. I'm really excited to see Connor Griffin play. Got one more year up at Penn State, so it would really be cool to see him play in Altoona. But
you can see him, and you can see the future #1 pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins possibly up at Penn State as well while you're out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin
Penn
McKenna.
State Nittany Lions going 12-0 as well. But nonetheless, I'm really excited and just seeing what do the Pirates do in the next month. I know Nick York, Thomas Harrington, even Bubba Chandler, they've been really struggling. What do the Pirates do upcoming, and what's a suggestion for them to prepare for next season?
I would bring them all up. I'm sorry. I don't care how they're playing down there. I want to see Bubba Chandler, and maybe this ignites something with him. He's been struggling. He started lights out. I mean, his first 2.5 months of the season, he was the pitcher of the month down there. All signs seemed to indicate he was going to get called up. It never happened, and now he's gone the other direction. But I'd bring him up for the rest of the year. Would you?
I don't know about the rest of the year just because of innings, but I want to see him, and I think we will see him before the year is out. They've got all these TBDs in their rotation now. I think at some point we might see Burrows get shut down. So that really leaves you Keller and Skeens in 3 open spots, and Ashcraft went in there the other day and pitched well. I think we'll see Oviedo, and I think we should see Chandler and maybe even Barco. Barco's older. Barco's almost 25 years old. I mean, it's time that we do, if he's a legit pitcher,
right,
it's time we do see him. Thomas Harrington was a highly thought of prospect when the season started, and he got shelled his first start, and it really didn't go any better than that every time it's been brought up. So you're a last place team. You should give an opportunity to guys like that, Bob, in the final few weeks of the season.
So last year we saw Mitch Keller fall apart in the last part of the year, and guess what we're watching now? It's the same thing happening. His ERA over the last several outings combined is like 8.53. I mean, how do you explain that? And should they have traded him at the trade deadline when his stock was much higher than it is right now?
Well, if Ben Cherington was not the GM, I wanted him to get traded, but I didn't trust Ben Cherington to make that deal. And I think what we've seen so far in the Bednar trade backs that up. David Bednar is turning into a folk hero for the New York Yankees. They play Renegade. He has saved that team's bullpen. He's closing out games for them. And Flores is off to a shaky start at AAA.
Right.
So early returns, the Yankees are loving that trade.
That's why they make trades with the Pirates all the time, Pony. They're always calling them up.
Right. Yeah, Ben Cherington does not have a good record with the Yankees, whereas Neil Huntington had a great record with the Yankees, whether it was Francisco Cervelli or A.J. Burnett. He obviously signed Russell Martin after he played there. So, yeah, I mean, I would have traded Keller because there was demand for starting pitching, but I just didn't think Ben Cherington was going to get enough back for him, Bob, in a deal because his trade record when dealing off veterans is not very good.
We have more calls coming up. John, Chuck, Greg, and David try to squeeze you in. And when we come back, we'll also talk about Cleveland Browns, their opening day starting quarterback. That story and more coming up next right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani, Andrew Fillipponi back with you. Let's go back to the lines. Greg in Newcastle, you're up. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Why doesn't Paul Skeens demand to be traded?
Well, I think he's not going to do that right now. What I do think he's done already is indicate that he expects this franchise to do more in the offseason, something they should have done last season. And they didn't do it. So, Andrew, now the emphasis is on them. And Andrew McCutchen has been, not very silent about his criticism also. So I'm going to be very interested to see what they do in this offseason.
McCutchen was even, I think, pretty outspoken today about how he wanted to play more outfield and wasn't given that chance. And so I don't think he's really in a great place with the organization in year 3 of his reunion, because they're now going the opposite direction, and he came here to win. So absolutely, it's going to be a monumental, massive, humongous offseason for the Pirates, and they've saved money, which should allow them, Bob, to go out there and, sign a Kyle Tucker and, trade for, or maybe sign Pete Alonso too.
Let's do it. That's the guy I've been looking at. He has a player option. If he wants out, bring him here. He can hit a lot of home runs to right field because he goes the opposite way a lot. Real quick before we go, they say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you really have none. Well, if you have 5 quarterbacks, what do you have in Cleveland? Today, Joe Flacco named starter. I guess I'm not surprised by that, but I wonder what that means for Kenny Pickett specifically, because, they have 2 other guys, Dylan Gabriel and Shadur Sanders. I would think they're ahead of him on the pecking order.
Well, he's officially ahead of them on the depth chart, even though he hasn't played in any preseason games. And I thought both Gabriel and Sanders had their moments.
Yes, me too.
When they started these preseason games. So Kenny might be in danger of getting traded again, Bob, and that would be the 4th different team for him on a rookie contract, which for a quarterback might be a record, to play for that many teams as a first-round pick.
As a first-round pick.
On a rookie deal.
Pony, thanks as always. Appreciate it. We'll see you again tomorrow night.
You bet, Bob.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll do it again tomorrow night. 10:35 is the start time. Give us a call on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We'll see you at 11 o'clock on KDKA News.